It was the first week of baseball, and I felt this weird little twitching, weird sensation underneath my leg, so I thought I'd just needed to stretch my hamstring, or I pulled it or strained it or something. But instead of that, it was actually my lumbar and sacrum. There was a disc in between it, and that disc got split in half, plus a little bit of my lumbar got broken as well, very small pieces. And pretty much over time, the tingly sensation on my leg kept growing and growing, and it grew more into pain. So by the second, third week of the season, I was having trouble walking and running, and I just looked really weird when I played baseball, and you could kind of just tell I wasn't healthy, and I think the coaches could as well. And then it got to a point where I couldn't walk anymore, and I was walking with a hunch in my back, and it was really embarrassing going in the hallways and seeing people look at me while I'm walking with my back hunched. I kind of felt ashamed of myself and that I couldn't even stand up straight. It's pretty embarrassing. So I went to LMH West and I got prescribed hydrocodone, and I was on hydrocodone for a week, but it didn't stop the pain at all because the pain had grown to my back by that time, and I was sitting at home on the couch. I was sleeping on the couch as well. And it got to a point where I couldn't even sit or even lay down straight, so I had to be curled up in a fetus position for a month. I went to get an MRI done, and I couldn't really lay down to get the MRI done, so I got sent home and we rescheduled it, and they were gonna put me on a light anesthesia. But when I got sent home that night, I was in incredible pain for a solid 3 hours. It was just constant yelling and screaming because it was so sensitive and the nerves were heavily damaged. My whole body kind of went into shock as well, so I was kind of stuck in this weird position for 3 or 4 hours. And then right after that, the next morning, 8, I woke up in the same type of pain. So my mom and dad, they kind of said, we're not gonna wait. We've been calling doctors for a month now. We're just gonna go to the ER at Children's Mercy in, I think, Kansas City or Overland Park. We went there, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't sit in the wheelchair they gave me, so I had to crawl into the emergency room in front of a whole bunch of families that were there, crying and just thriving in pain in front of everyone. And that was also very humiliating. After they gave me the room, we were in there for 3 or 4 hours, and I was just giving light doses of fentanyl because they didn't understand how much the pain was. So I was in the hospital for days, and we honestly didn't know when I was going to get my surgery. We were told it was either going to be this week, the week we were in the hospital, or January of next year. So yeah, it was really a toss-up of what would happen. I finally got the surgery done, I think the 4th or 5th day I was in the hospital. So after the surgery, I stayed 2 days in the hospital because I had bladder problems and bowel problems, or bowel. And then I got sent home. I got cleared to go home. And the feeling of going home was really weird. It was I don't know. It felt like I didn't know how to talk to people after. But yeah, I kind of had to relearn how to walk it. I wouldn't say relearn, but kind of just rethink the whole process of walking again, because it was 2 months with no walking. Yeah, but when I got home, I had this new insight on life and kind of how everything can be taken away from you so quickly, and that you just need to cherish everything. I know it's really corny, but it's kind of the truth. Nothing's ever guaranteed in your life. So I learned not to take everything for granted and to start appreciating even the little things more. So yeah, that's kind of just the the main story of what happened.